You ever wonder if there's like a secret to asking the right questions? Some kind of hidden logic that helps you cut through all the noise and just get to the answer faster? Well, it turns out there is, and it's a formal logic you probably already use without even knowing it. So let's break it down. Okay, sync back to the game Guess Who. You've got that classic board full of faces, your opponent has secretly picked one, and your goal is simple. But the strategy? Oh, the strategy is everything. So what's the actual secret to winning this thing and winning it fast? Every single time.
I mean, you don't ask, is it Tom, then is it Susan, one by one, right? Of course not. That would take forever. You start broad. You ask something like, do they have a hat? Your opponent says no. And bam! Just like that, you've eliminated a whole chunk of the board. Then, do they have glosses? Yes. Okay, now you're zeroing in. You follow this logical trail until you've basically cornered the right answer.
So it feels like just a simple game strategy. Well, it's actually something way more fundamental. It's a powerful, formal system of logic. It's a repeatable process for finding answers by asking a series of really smart, connected questions. In this whole method, it's not just for games. Not by a long shot. It's really a blueprint for powerful problem solving in just about any area you can imagine. And whenever there's a cool process like this, you can bet academics have studied it and given it a very official sounding name. You ready for this?
It's called an erotic search scenario. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple and elegant.
So all that fancy phrase means is what we do in Guess Who. You take one big complicated question, like which of these 24 people is it, and you break it down, you decompose it into a whole series of smaller, much easier questions. This process really boils down to three key things. First step, you've got decomposition. That's just breaking the big problem into little pieces. Then there's logical reasoning, which means the answer you get to one question tells you exactly what to ask next. And finally, it's all about information seeking. You're constantly asking questions to get new data and get closer to that final solution. Okay, so how can we actually picture this whole path of breaking things down? There's a really cool, simple way to think about it. Yeah, researchers have this awesome metaphor for it, a Socratic tree. And honestly, it's the perfect way to visualize the path your questions are creating. So just picture it, your big, messy problem, the main question, that's the root of the tree. It's the starting point where all the possibilities live. Then you ask your first question, do they have a hat? And bam, you've just created the first big branches on your tree. A yes sends you down one path, and a no sends you down a completely different one, closing off the other branch for good. And your next question, do they have glasses, does the exact same thing. It creates new, smaller branches, refining your route even more. You're literally building a logical path through the problem, one question at a time. And the whole goal here, the reason we're even building this tree, is to travel from that super complex route all the way down to the simplest possible endpoints, those final little questions that give you the answer. And those endpoints, the final questions, logicians have a name for them. Atomic yes-no questions. Think of them as the leaves on our Socratic tree. They're questions like, is it Maria? They represent that final, tiny step that solves the entire puzzle you started with. All right, so this is a really neat theory, right? But where else does it pop up? I mean, does it matter outside of a board game? Oh, you bet it does. This logic is everywhere. Well, first off, of course, it's huge in game theory. We're talking way beyond Guess Who. Strategists use this to model the most efficient path to victory in all sorts of competitive situations, from high-stakes business negotiations all the way to military intelligence. And you know what? This is the logic that powers the AI you use every single day. When you ask a smart assistant a question, and instead of just saying, I don't know, it asks back, did you mean the coffee shop on Main Street or the one on Elm Street? Well, that's an erotic search in action. It's called cooperative answering, and it's designed to narrow down the possibilities to give you a way better answer. It's also, and this is so important, the backbone of great teaching. When a good tutor is guiding a student, they aren't just giving them the answers. They ask a series of structured questions, a tutorial dialogue, that helps the student build their own logical path to the solution. It's about teaching someone how to think, not just what to know. And here's something that's just mind-blowing. Researchers actually use this exact framework to analyze our normal, everyday conversations. They can model the hidden problem solving and reasoning we all do without even thinking about it, just to understand each other. It's incredible. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? What's the big takeaway here? How can you actually put this powerful idea to work in your own life? It's actually pretty simple. Here's your new problem-solving toolkit. The next time you're facing some big, messy, overwhelming problem, don't panic. First, deconstruct it. Break it down into the smallest questions you can. Second, follow the logical path. Let the answers you get guide your next move. And third, if you ever get stuck, just use simple yes-no questions to cut through the confusion. See, this isn't just some abstract idea from a logic textbook. It's a real-world tool for thinking more clearly and solving problems more effectively. So, the real question is, what complex problem in your life are you going to deconstruct first?